Listen, I don't care who runs South Africa, to be very honest. I just want it to be a fair leader. I would like it to be a leader that understands, that holds people accountable. Corporate South Africa is not held accountable for the many things they do.
Correct.
We have a banking system that's biased towards people of color, black people particularly. We have an insurance system that does the same thing. We have contracts that are given to service providers that speak from a business point of view. Yet we have a constitution that speaks about fair trade. It can never be fair if it sets up one over the other. And we have a judiciary that is not fair, that speaks for those that have deeper pockets.
Correct.
So you got to figure out how you cheat the business. I'm not, without mentioning names, I'm telling you a silly story. So I had a landlord that gave me a building that was falling apart. From day one, I complained.
Sure.
They didn't listen. We paid them rent for the whole year. We couldn't produce for the whole year. You can do the maths. Can you imagine a business that employs over 100 people? I'm not going to the total number of people, but over 100 people that need to be paid. Suppliers need to be paid. I still owe a few suppliers, but I'm honest enough to say to them, allow me time. I'm fixing these things, right? That business, these guys drown me, right? And the minute I start saying, I got you now. This is where you did wrong. They send lawyers. So they win. They win an eviction, short notice eviction, which is highly questionable. I don't want to go into that because that's a story for another day.
Sure.
I accept it. But I'm like, I'm appealing. It's a principle thing. They're not going to just push me off the table. And I think it's when I realized that there was a collusion taking place to shove me out. It forced me to take a step back and look at where I am. And I think I wasn't totally honest with myself where I am. Not a lot of people can get to where I am. And I'm there. It took me using smart movement, like moving a few ponds. Guess what? The lease agreement is just renewed. They're fixing the building. We're moving on. We forgot that there was an eviction. You know why? I shoved the same way they did. There's a need for that. We can't keep on accepting these things, Ben. You can't. Listen, dude, technically, in a kumbaya ideal world, people like you should be speaking to kids to change mindsets, right? You'd be some form of a platform or an enabler, let alone a philosophy, right? But people in your shoes want to be celebrities. They want to be seen, to be populist, to be liked. And man, after they like you, we're not the same. I'm not under any illusion. We're not the same. We're not built the same. I'm not racist, but I am full understanding.
I'm not racist. I've got white friends.
Yeah, no, not even about that. I am honest. I think honesty. When you're honest, you're racist in this country. When you're honesty, you're dividing and you're bridging. But in their quietness, they are entrenching the divisions.
Unfortunately.
And we accept that. I'm saying it's not acceptable. It shouldn't be.
I want to go back and defend parents because I want to deviate a lot.
Good for you and your parents.
Look, I want to start off by saying I realize you struggle with stereotypes, which is okay, and it's probably why you are meant to be an innovator and a creator. I had to realize at some point that with all my criticisms and all the things that I felt was wrong, and I was like you, but solutions should start at home. The morals should be taught at home. We are, you just said it now, we are different. And when people realize I got 40%, 50% at school, I can only take advice from the guy who got 80% at school and what he's doing with his kids. And if he's taking his kids there, and if he's having big graduations, and I will follow him even though we're not the same. Which is why I was saying I do think we need to blame those of us who know better. We need to get louder and we need to empower people to be like, this is not the only way.
But you're wrong.
It's okay.
Why would you take advice from somebody that got 80% and you got 40? What makes them better? Because
you can only say this because you're privileged to be able to ascertain and discern.
You and I will punch you for that. I'm not going to fight you, but I'll punch you figuratively. You can never say I'm privileged. Privilege is if my grandchildren can afford to maneuver the economical environment.
Privilege cannot only be
Hear
financial.
me out. I'm getting there.
Sure.
That's one.
Sure.
It also, privilege comes from knowledge being part and being sound. Because sometimes knowledge does not sink in.
Sure.
So if it doesn't sink in, it's wrong. So let me give you an example. I said this early on to you. On a table of people that own bicycles, a man that's father bought him his bicycle does not have a voice. Get that? The problem is we think people that are academically smart or people that cram answers are better. 9 out of 10 people that were better than me in school are struggling in life.
Correct.
And because school teaches conformity and not independence, individuality, and creativity.
Correct.
And I think that is the problem. For me, I speak to people to understand where they're coming from, and that has given me perspective. I intentionally, I get on a taxi once a month. I do it intentionally because I sell what goes to people. I need to understand people. And that grounds me, it reminds me I'm from there.
Yeah.
I think because we don't do that, we miss cardinal principle, right? It is easy for a minister to speak about a people and ridiculing our people and opening a tap and people clapping hands, opening one tap.
Not just the minister, president as well.
Yeah, same nonsense to me, man. Hey, semantics, right? Shucks, call them that rather. So if that's the case, right, and we accept that, maybe we are the circus.
But what are you disagreeing with me?
You can't take advice from somebody that just got a better grade than you. What makes him more equipped? You said it yourself a while back. You said, not in this interview while you're speaking to somebody, you said, the reason we have doctors that are qualified because people that were unqualified created that system, right? If that's the case.
The first person that opened a school or university didn't have a qualification.
Absolutely, and I agree with that. And hence I'm saying, you can't take the 40%. You need to get different perspectives.
You can't say that.
Why can't I?
This is what I'm trying to explain about privilege, right? So you've got a light-skinned, big booty, very hot girl trying to explain, but we're not all the same. You have to look at character. And I'm like, you can't say it. So what? You understand that. And that's because you are smart. And I'm telling you that the average person out there doesn't understand that. And it's for people like you to then get louder and to tell them, don't just listen to the 80%.
I'll
These are the different options.
And
I'm saying the reason parents are struggling is because all they know is apparently that's the smart guy. That's the leader. That's the famous guy. Therefore, we will copy what they're doing. And I'm saying the people to blame are the ones watching them do that and be like, this is not the way. Those people must then rise up. It's like leadership. We are watching leaders destroy this country in corporate and in government.
We're watching people destroy this
watching
country.
People.
Like you can't. That word.
Let me finish my point. So we're watching people destroy the country, and some of us claim that we know better and can do better, but we're not. And when I have to blame someone, we can blame them. Obviously, they're destroying the country, and we can blame voters, which I've done as well, and we can blame the people that fund these guys. I'm like, the biggest people to blame are the ones that know better, but are almost doing nothing.